evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Raising Bulls, brought to you by the Beautiful Game Network, Golden Goal Press, and Roughneck Scarves. We are the only podcast dedicated to the New York Red Bulls 2 of USL. Tonight, we're going to look at an emphatic win over Bethlehem Steel. Red Bulls finally getting back in the win column after three straight winless matches. We're going to talk to Preston Kilwien, first-year defender. I've been saying his name wrong for weeks, everyone. I'm sorry, most to him, but to everyone else, I've been calling him Kilwien. Forgive me. You can call me Joe Goldstein from now on, if that will, I think, set the balance. And we're going to preview a match this weekend against Atlanta United 2 on the road. Red Bulls 2 looking for revenge after losing in Atlanta United 2's home opener last season. Whew. It was not easy to get all that out. Joining me tonight, I've got the best photographer I've ever known. It's Bill. It's Bill Toomey. Hello, Bill.
Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, especially after seeing what the Red Bulls 2 did and then being at the first team game over the weekend too. What a game at Red Bull Arena Saturday night. Fireworks and all. It was fantastic.
I like that Red Bull 2 set the tone with a 4-0 victory on Friday. And then Red Bulls said, anything you can do, I can do better. Or at least anything you can do, I can do. And also got a 4-0 win over Mike Petke and Real Salt Lake. Good times to be had by all. And on the show tonight, it's Mr. Joe Steen. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I guess they kind of sent me a message that I was completely wrong about the team. Had no problems with Bethlehem. So, yeah, I guess I should just start predicting losses more often.
Well, I only predicted a win because you predicted a loss and Bill predicted a draw. So I owe my correct, at least prediction in terms of result to you. So thank you. All right, let's get into that. It was a fairly big win. It looked like it was setting up to be one of those matches where Red Bulls are frustrated and lose. They had a lot of opportunities at the beginning of the match, but they were very, very sloppy. Everything kind of changes when Kyle Zayats scores his first goal of his professional career. Congrats, Kyle. It was just one of those, taking a shot from the perimeter and hoping for the best. It sneaks in the post. Kyle picks up another goal only a few minutes later. And I think from that point on, it just never looked like it was going to be Bethlehem Steel's night. There's a lot of things I want to talk about from this match, but I want to get some first impressions from you, Joe. What stood out for you on the night?
What we're really Kyle Zayats was in this game. I mean, we'd seen a little bit in the USL this earlier in the season, but I mean, he really seemed to have his best game as a member of Red Bull 2. I mean, I really liked the way he and Lima partnered the midfield. I thought that he stepped into challenges really well. He had a lot of key interceptions, would set up chances, and he grabbed 2 goals in this game. So, I mean, I thought he was really important for what they were doing in this game because, I mean, Kofi had a knock. The partnership has been Kofi and Lima for most of the year. So when Zayats had a really great job. The other thing is Jared Stroud obviously, gets the assist that to the all-time. Congrats to him. He had another really, really good game. And I forget who else was up there. Epps was up there and
Elney.
I can't remember. Elney. I thought they did a great job. I thought they put a lot of pressure on Bethlehem backline. I think they were aided by the injury, and Bethlehem wasn't really able to play out of their own Red Bull 2 to do a lot.
So I'm going to translate that a little bit because you were breaking up a little bit there. But I think I got all of the things that you said. You really liked how Kyle Zayats partnered with Chris Lemma in the midfield. I fully agree. I think it was his best match for the team. He added that defensive bite that I think at times is missing with this club when you got Kofi and Lima out there together, just because that's not really the role either of those guys play. So it was nice to have a bit of a defensive midfielder in there. And then, yes, Jared Stroud, he breaks the assist record for Red Bulls 2. He's now on 15 assists. Congrats, Jared. Fantastic match from you leading the sort of triangle there. And you also mentioned the front line, which I was very complimentary towards on the night. I think Elney, he played on the wing, but the way that they set up, it was almost like he was playing as a second forward. I thought that helped take a lot of the pressure off of Matthias Jorgensen because he could hold up the ball a little bit better than Jorgensen. It allowed him to run off the ball as well and put himself in dangerous positions. And both guys, I mean, they created danger, just they struggled a little bit to finish. But I think we are seeing progress with them, which is a very, very good sign. Bill, Evan Loro gets his first clean sheet of the year. They've only done it with Ryan Mara in net this year. And the defense in general, you're talking about Preston Kilwien and Jordan Scarlett in the center, who looked great on the night, and I think that is largely due to the work that Reese Buckmaster and Edgardo Rito were doing on the wings. Do we see those two guys as number one yet?
It's really coming close, because maybe we finally found the fit in our defense that we can actually use moving forward. Because in the past few games, we've seen teams get behind the defensive line and score early goals, and it was really nice to not see that happen this game. So I definitely think that's something that can happen and maybe is on the way.
What I really liked about the back line on the evening, we saw Preston, he was partnered up with Alan Giannis the last time that we were there against North Carolina FC. I think because Giannis wandered a little bit more and maybe wasn't as responsible to get back and put in the defensive work, that pulled Preston out of position, which then unbalanced the back line and created a lot of problems. Reese just works hard. Him and Edgardo all game long. They're up and down the wings. They are tireless. And when you have that kind of work ethic from the outside, it takes a lot for anyone to get down the wings, and it shuttles everyone inside. And then it's easy for guys like Jordan and Preston to kind of clean up anything that comes through there. And yes, I think Bethlehem didn't exactly do themselves any favors on the night. But I think a big part of that was just the defensive organization that has been missing at times. But this was a really good crew out there that day.
And if you just look at the passing stats alone, I mean, the amount of passes that Red Bulls 2 had compared to Bethlehem Steel was over 100 more passes, and the accuracy was a lot more accurate for the Red Bulls 2. It was like 70.5% to 55%. So that's pretty cool to see, too. I mean, they're definitely stepping up their game.
Yeah, Bethlehem, I think they came out, they wanted to stay compact. They wanted to get a little bit physical and make the game difficult for the Red Bulls, and then just kind of attack directly. And because they went down a goal, that kind of shot, or it unbalanced them, and it put them in a really bad way, and they were just never able to get back in the match from there. What else? Yes, Bethlehem Steel was shorthanded. We talked about that heading into the match, but it's still a very, very good win for the club. I want to ask about Jorgensen just in general, because he did score in this match. It was from the spot, but I'm wondering what you guys feel about his progress so far. We've seen him for a number of matches now. This was probably the most service and help he's gotten, so I think we saw him a little bit more active. But do you see the development there? Do you see him progressing, Joe?
I do see him progressing. You've talked about the service, and for a forward like him, he's going to need good service. I think his finishing still needs a little bit of work. He should have had at least 3 or 4 goals in this game. And I think his touch let him down a couple times. In the first half, he took it too wide of the keeper, and then it was cleared off the line. Just his touch let him down, but I do see progress, and I am a big fan of his movement. And I think he's starting to maybe grasp the system a little bit better as well.
There's a word that I've heard associated with Matthias, and that word is meek. That at times, even though he's a big physical guy, and he can be a sort of a force, especially with the ball at his feet or running onto the ball, that sometimes he kind of shies away a little bit. And I think, that's part of being a young player and being a young striker, especially. But when you think about the pedigree that he has and coming from these teams in Europe, you would think that maybe he's gotten over that yet, and that is not the case. And so I think until you start to see him become a little bit more comfortable with the physical side of his game, it's still gonna be a work in progress. I mentioned the same thing about Tom Barlow, even as early as the beginning of this season, or as recent as the beginning of this season, and he has obviously come a long way since last year and put in the work. So I'm hopeful that we'll see Jorgensen start to put it together in a much bigger way and a more consistent way.
Yeah, I think the potential's there for sure. It's just a matter of, like you said, he's got to be more physical. I mean, Barlow, we saw glimpses of him early in the last year, and the one thing he worked on this year that I noticed was he was able to hold the ball up better and use his body to create chances for himself. So Matthias has just got to work on that. And I mean, he's great with the ball at his feet, and I think he's got a lot of tools that a quality striker has. It's just a matter of, again, him just getting a little bit more stronger on the ball and stuff like that.
Fully agree. And I think you saw a little bit of that in this match too, where he was checking back to midfield at times and being a more willing teammate other than just running off the ball and looking for scoring chances, which he's good at. But I think when he gets that other part of his game down, he's going to be much more dangerous. I guess we can do man of the match. Bill, who is your man of the match?
Such a great game. 4 goals scored. Evan Laurel for the clean sheet.
Okay. I think that's very fair. Joe.
It's a tough one. I'm going to go Kyle Ziyech, though. I think he was a force in the midfield, and I think, grabbing 2 goals, great for his confidence. I hope he gets the start for this weekend's game.
I'll tell you what, I was super bummed that Epps did not have that the goal ended up being an own goal and it wasn't credited to Epps because I think it would have been great for him to score against Bethlehem Steel. You guys gave them to them. I agree with Zayats. I'm going to give mine to the combo of Reese Buckmaster and Edgardo Rito. They don't really show up on the stat sheet in any meaningful way on this, in terms of contributing to the goals. But I think their play on the night really set the tone for the whole team and made the shutout and the win possible. So Buckmaster, Rito, Zayats, and Loro. Nice job, guys. Okay, when we come back, we're going to preview... Oh, no, sorry. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Preston Kilwien, so stick around. And we're back. We're joined now by first-year defender Preston Kilwien. Preston, I've been saying your name wrong for weeks. I am so sorry.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. Happens to everybody.
Whew, feeling good. I at first I started off spelling it wrong. I was putting the E before the I, and now I've been saying it wrong too. So I guess.
No, don't worry. You're not the only one. There's been plenty of people.
I guess I feel a little bit better about that. So you're brand new to the club, but walk us through sort of your earliest days playing soccer. When did you start playing?
So I originally started playing when I was about 3 at like a YMCA out in San Diego, California, and just ever since then, just kind of fell in love with it. Played a little bit of rec league, growing up, and then when I hit about 8 or 9, I joined Dienza 4 Soccer Club down in Cupertino, California, San Jose, California. And yeah, after that, it was a pretty crazy childhood. We moved quite a bit when I was younger, so I played up in Seattle for Crossfire. Back down to California, played for a brand new team that came out called East Bay Eclipse. and then went over to Diablo FC, and then ended up joining Gienza Academy my junior year of high school.
That is a lot of travel. I was wondering when you started to talk about California, how you ended up eventually getting down to Florida.
Yeah, it was funny story actually. Florida Gulf Coast was actually the first school to actually contact me officially. So, and that was just after the Dunk City stuff had happened. So that was pretty sweet. And then you got to see the campus and stuff online and on ESPN, and just fell in love with it. And got to go out there and just absolutely fell in love with the school.
What in particular was something that you fell in love with Florida Gulf Coast?
Soccer-wise, it was the style of play. It was just, getting down there and seeing the guys play and actually play and possess and, play like a fun style of soccer for college that is kind of different than what a lot of people are used to. And then just campus-wise, there's so much there's just so much to do. Like there's a man-made lake on campus. You could rent out paddle boards, kayaks, sailboat. It was just an awesome campus to be at. That
sounds really, really awesome. And of course, while you're down there, you pick up a number of honors and you end up on, all team this and that. But you also got yourself onto SportsCenter, right?
Yeah, I did. My freshman year debut, scored the game winner in like the 89th minute.
Against Princeton? Is that right?
Against Princeton. So it was kind of funny when I joined the Red Bull 2. I was talking to one of the guys, and he told me that he was from Princeton. And I kind of brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, were you there in 2015?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you remember the goal that kid scored on you?"
That's Sean McSherry. What was his reaction to that?
He was just like, "No way!" He just couldn't believe it.
That is a wild goal. What was in your head when you were taking that shot?
Just hit it to the far post.
Just open for the best.
And it kind of just floated near post.
Was it one of the?
It worked.
Was it one of those situations where you hit it and you knew that you hit it well, or was it a surprise to you that it went in?
No, I hit it and just looked at it, and I honestly thought it was going over. So I started reacting like, "Oh my god, what did I just do?" And then it literally just dropped in under the crossbar, and then it was insane after that. It was fun.
And out of college, did you then go to the Tampa Bay U23s?
So that was after my sophomore year of college, I played for the PDL team for the Rowdies. And then after my junior year, I played out in Seattle for the Sounders U23s. So
I guess with all that travel, did that make it a little bit easier? I talked to Marcus about this last week about, he spent a lot of years in different places and kind of putting himself in sort of these uncomfortable situations, but overall that kind of contributed to his comfort level now as a professional player.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. As a kid, it kind of sucks having to move and leave your friends, but as you get older and you kind of realize that it is a blessing because you get to mature and you get to be in those uncomfortable situations way more than a lot of the other people are used to. So, and then also going to these schools and seeing how people, future professional athletes act and handle themselves definitely contributed to how I act and how I hope to act as a professional.
And during this time, is that when you started getting into cooking?
Yeah, freshman year of college or so. Started cooking, and then I met my girlfriend, and she's an amazing cook. So she taught me a few things.
What's your signature meal that you're making in the kitchen?
Oh, I like to make this steak with a complete seasoning, and you soak it in lime juice for 30 minutes to an hour. Then you just throw it on the pan with some oil, and then with some rice, some sweet potato with brown sugar, and some salad.
That sounds terrific. All right, so now we know you're the one who's going to feed the rest of the team one of these days.
They supply the food, I'll cook.
Nice. And you're also into video games. What games do you like to play? Are you like a first-person shooter guy? Or are you more of a third-person action kind of guy? Sports games? What are you playing?
I play a little bit of everything, to be honest. Right now, Fortnite is pretty big. So I play Fortnite. I play FIFA, Call of Duty, 2K, Rocket League. Like, there's a lot.
Are you competitive with anyone on the team?
I don't think I've actually played anybody on the team besides I played Tom Barlow one time, and I won. So I think he wants to rematch pretty soon.
You played him in what, Fortnite or FIFA?
And I played him in FIFA.
Very nice. Do you remember what team you were?
I think I was Liverpool, to be honest.
Oh,
but
nice.
I'm a big Arsenal fan, so.
Okay. I'll forgive you because you played as Liverpool. So talk to me about the season so far. How comfortable do you feel with the team? How different is it from any of the environments you've been in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel very comfortable. At first, it's obviously a bit rough when a lot of the guys know each other, and you come into a new environment trying to prove yourself to the coaches and also trying to prove yourself to the teammates as well. But definitely as time goes on, we've made great relationships with each other. And yeah, I think, the team, the Red Bull style of play is obviously very, very high pressing, very, very fun to watch, very fun to, create chances and go at people all the time. And I think the biggest difference that I really noticed was kind of the overall intensity of how hard you have to play and how fast you have to play, how fast you have to think during the entire 90 minutes plus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was probably the biggest difference that I had to go through.
Is being partnered with someone like Jordan Scarlett, a little bit, well, maybe not a little bit, but does that help at all in terms of getting you prepared and getting you focused?
Yeah, definitely. Jordan was a huge help to me when I came to the team. And Jordan's just, he's such a funny guy, and he's a great guy off the field. You get on the field, he's just so intense. So he helps you drive a little bit more to play that little bit harder.
Intense is true. Anybody that's been to the matches at MSU, I'm sure that they know Jordan's voice very well.
100%.
And give me a grade how you think that you're doing so far.
I think I'm so far in my games, I'd say I'm at maybe like a B. I think I definitely can improve on a few things. But I think overall, I think I've done pretty well.
What's something you think you could improve on?
I think I can improve on my 1v1 transition defending when someone's running at me with a lot of space behind me. I think if somebody tries to play the ball over the top, a lot of the times I'm pretty good at reading that and getting there. But when it comes to somebody really running at me with a lot of space behind, I think I need to work on that.
This coming, I guess we could say weekend. This coming weekend, you're going to be without Jordan, right? Because he's got the yellow card suspension.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm assuming it's mostly going to be Chris Teo or somebody like that. Do you now feel that pull to kind of be the leader back there, since you're most likely going to be paired with a younger guy?
Yeah, for sure. Even in training this week, I've been trying to work on, making sure I'm getting my guys to do what we need to do, stepping up the line, moving, shifting the way we need to do, the way we need to go. So definitely, I think it's going to be a challenge, but I'm definitely up for it. I can't wait.
Well, I think we're going to be excited to see how that goes this weekend. Before I let you go, I have to subject you to the lightning round. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Popcorn, yes or no?
Yes.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Marvel or DC?
Can I say neither?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, not a big superhero guy.
Super Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Super Mario, for sure.
And I'm calling this one the Derek Etienne Award. I'm going to give it to the player that wins it at the end of the season. Who is the worst dancer on the Red Bulls 2?
The worst dancer? Oh man, might have to say I'm gonna give it to Kyle Zayat.
Wow, this is a new entry into the list. So far, we've got a few players for Reese, including Reese himself. And I don't remember who the other one is. Oh, Chris Lebo was the other one. All right, I like that we got a new challenger. That's excellent. Well, Preston, thank you so much for coming on. We wish you nothing but the best of luck this weekend and in the future. And thanks.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
When we come back, we're going to preview the match against Atlanta United too. So stick around. And we're back. We are now going to preview the match against Atlanta United 2 this weekend. Atlanta United, not great. They're 3-5-4. They've got a -6 goal differential. They're sitting at the very bottom, just above the playoff line, thanks to their goal differential over Bethlehem Steel. They are 0-2-3 in their last 5 matches and 2-4-0 at home overall. In the last 5, they've lost to Nashville and Ottawa, each by a score of 2-0. And they drew against Bethlehem Steel, Swope Park Rangers, and Charleston Battery. Like I said, 1-1 draws. They do not have a consistent goal scorer, but they have really spread the goals around the team. Romario Williams, who everybody remembers from Charleston, of course, he's got 3 goals on the season. Then Lawrence Wyke has 2. And then each of these guys has a goal apiece. Brandon Vasquez, Kevin Barajas, Gordon Wild, Laurent Casidu, John Gallagher, Jackson Conway, and Luis Fernando. All of those guys have 1 goal apiece. And then on the assist side, Laurent Casidu has 2, Anderson Acedu has 2, Don Pereira, Andrew Carlton, John Gallagher, Jack Metcalf, and Luis Fernando all have 1. I haven't watched a ton of Atlanta United 2, but based on what I've seen, I mean, you know what you're getting from Atlanta. They play a similar style to the way that Atlanta played last season. They're a little bit more direct. They are a little bit better in terms of the way that they defend this season. Last year, I think they were, a little bit easy to play through. They're a smarter team. They are a little bit more experienced, but they still have these defensive breakdowns, especially if they try to play the ball out of the back. We know from experience when Red Bulls have faced Atlanta that if they start trying to play the ball through the midfield or playing the ball out of the back, the Red Bulls really feast on them. Now, add in all of that and the fact that the Red Bulls 2, that is, lost to Atlanta in their home opener last season, the game that no one saw because there was some kind of weird production problem. And I think that Red Bulls 2 are absolutely going to want to get a strong statement-style victory again this week. They're going to be doing it without Jordan Scarlett. Jordan will be suspended for this weekend because of yellow card accumulation. That means it's probably going to be Chris Teo. We didn't even talk about the 2 young guys in the first segment, but Sal Esposito and Chris Teo getting minutes again this week. So I'm going to assume that Chris Teo is going to be starting next to Preston Kilwien. Hopefully you're going to see Edgardo Rito again. He was injured towards the tail end of the match against Bethlehem and replaced. They moved Reese Buckmaster over to the right side and then brought in Janos Luba to play on the left, who also looked good in that match. So there could be a little bit of shuffling around that, so we'll have to see. But, there's a couple of things that I would keep an eye on. One is Kofi going to be coming back, or are we going to see another start from Kyle Zayats? Zayats, of course, had a fantastic match. Kofi plays a little bit less of a destroyer role, but is very good at dribbling forward and opening up defenses with the ball at his feet. And then up top, if we're going to see that same trio of Epps, Elney, and Jorgensen, who I thought worked really well together. They really understood each other very well. Joe, give me an idea of what you think we're going to see in this match.
Well, I hope we see, as good as Kofi's been this year, I think he's been a little inconsistent at times, so I'm kind of hoping we see Kyle Zayats. And I I'm interested to see what we see along the back line because, as you mentioned, Scarlett is suspended. So I think that could be just as, him and Kilwien are getting their timing down and their chemistry down. I think, it's going to be a little bit difficult with somebody else coming in. But, I want to say we're going to see something similar to the side that played Bethlehem, but maybe with a couple changes. As you mentioned, Sal Esposito has been impressive. I kind of hope we see him a little bit more in this game too. So, I mean, I think it's a little bit of rotation just because of suspensions and maybe a couple knocks. So, I mean, I think we should see maybe 3 or 4 changes in this side.
Bill, if you're putting a side out there, who are you going with on your back line?
I would almost run the exact same lineup that we had out for Friday night, without Scarlett, of course, but that was pretty good. I mean, I really do like the way that they played, and especially last year, right? It wasn't at Rebel Arena because we were back in Montclair then, but for Atlanta United, it was, a 6-1 win, so that's going to be fresh on their minds.
Yeah, and I think maybe I'm not 100% sure that this is really going to translate down to the USL level, but it is clear that Atlanta and the New York Red Bulls in MLS are developing a rivalry. It would be interesting to see some of that spill over into the USL side, especially because that game was very physical, very emotional, and I would love to see something like that in USL. We haven't really had that from the Red Bulls with anyone after Rochester yet, right? Like I want to see them, have a stronger relationship with another team where anytime that they're playing each other, that it's going to be a dogfight and players are going to be, wearing their hearts on their sleeve and going in on the challenges and so forth.
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to jump in?
I mean, either of you could have jumped in.
I thought that rivalry was with Bethlehem, but because they're the team that's kind of beaten them more than anybody over the past couple seasons. Louisville too, I guess you could say, but Louisville kind of has a rivalry with some other teams. But I don't know. I just don't think it translates down because I think I don't want to say Atlanta doesn't take their USL side as seriously as the Red Bull organization does with Red Bull 2, because as we've seen, Red Bull 2's success speaks for itself over the last few years. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to give it some time, but I mean, they haven't really shown any inclination that they can step up to Red Bull 2's level as far as like bringing the intensity and bringing just matching them talent for talent.
Okay, I think that's fair. I did kind of forget about the fact that Bethlehem had beaten them a couple times. But yeah, those just don't feel like intense matches. I want to see it with somebody. Ideally, it would be with Hartford or Loudoun. But I guess Loudoun has really good potential actually because they won the first time. Yeah. But Hartford is just so atrocious this year. Focus on just getting your stuff done, and then we'll talk about a rivalry another day. We are looking at Jared Stroud can continue to stretch his lead in terms of Red Bull's all-time assist men, but he's also not having a bad season this year. I think that was his 4th assist on the season, which puts him tied for 7th in the league. He's only 3 assists off the top. A guy who is also tied with 4 assists on the year. Actually, there's a number of former Red Bull players. But who else do you think has 4 assists on the season that is a Red Bull midfielder?
Marcus Epps.
That's a good guess. He's not a former Red Bull midfielder.
Oh, former. Jose Aguinaga.
Also a good guess. He has 3, so not bad.
Man, that's a good question.
Junior Flemings. I don't know if he has that many assists yet. Epps also has 3, by the way.
What about Tenari? How many assists does he have?
Aha! Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. It's Tenari.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah,
because he was pretty dangerous, when the Rebels 2 played Tampa a few weeks back. That was a good game, even though they lost. It was cool to see Tenari back out.
I wasn't happy that we had to watch him beat the Red Bulls,
Yes.
but not so bad.
Definitely not.
Just
That's
looking.
right. He did have a goal.
Oh, go ahead.
He had a goal and assist this weekend for Tampa.
Yeah,
So.
and oh man, he's been having a great year. Atlanta United, number 2 in the league in yellow cards earned. That's a weird sort of stat to have.
Where do they play?
Oh, good question. Did I write that down?
Arena there?
No, they do not. They do not play at Mercedes-Benz. I'll look for it while I talk about some other things. Red Bulls are second in the league in total goals scored. Second only to New Mexico, who has 30. The Red Bulls have how many goals? I like doing this trivia aspect. It makes it fun.
Oh, man.
26.
Ooh, so close.
27.
27. That was an alley-oop, I think. Yes, they are second in the league with 27 goals. Atlanta United 2 is tied for 30th in the league with 12 goals.
Oh,
so yeah, they don't score a ton of goals. They are sloppy in the back and definitely susceptible to some bad things happening. They play at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. So Fifth Third Bank Stadium, and that's in Kennesaw, Georgia. Fifth Third Bank. That is
let's see. That is really far outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. It's almost better though, I think, for USL 2 team or MLS 2 teams rather to not exactly be right in the same market. Red Bulls are still pretty close comparatively to where other teams have their 2 teams. I guess Bethlehem is the only other one right now that's like...
About a good 30 miles or so from downtown Atlanta.
Okay, let's get predictions for this match. Bill, I'll start with you.
After seeing last week's performance and with the way that Atlanta United 2 has been playing so far this season, pretty confident in saying a 3-0 win for Red Bulls 2 on the road.
Joe?
In Atlanta.
They don't really score a lot on the road, so I'm going to go 2-1 Red Bulls 2.
I don't know. Well, all right, yeah, fair. I was going to say we don't have enough data, but that's not true. We have a couple of games to go on now. 2-1 Red Bulls 2? Okay. I'm going to call this a 1-1 draw because they've got 3 straight 1-1 draws. So
I knew it.
I will be very happy to be wrong about this one this week. Okay, so we've got 2 wins and a draw. We'll see who comes out on top. Surely it will not be me. Always do the opposite of whatever I say, right, Bill?
That's right. I won a lot of money because of that.
True story, folks. Okay, let's run down the standings very quickly. Tampa Bay Rowdies have extended their lead up top. They won on Saturday against Birmingham Legion 2-0. They are sitting on 29 points after 13 matches. Red Bulls 2 in second place, 23 points on 12 matches. Nashville on 22. Ottawa 21, Indy 21, Louisville 21. In 7th, North Carolina with 20 points. 8th, St. Louis FC. They were, think about how good they started the season. They are 1-1-3 in their last 5. They've really taken a turn for the worse there, but they still have a number of games in hand. So maybe not the worst thing, but they're definitely not in form. Charleston Battery and Atlanta round up the 2 bottom with 17 and 13 apiece. Bethlehem Steel 13, Birmingham Legion 12, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 13th place, 12 points. Memphis 901 10 points, Loudoun 9, Charlotte 8, Swope Park 7, Hartford 6. Hartford over their last 5 matches, so that was terrible for St. Louis. They've got the same record as Hartford over the last 5, wow. 1-1-3. Admittedly, Hartford is getting decent results against decent opposition, and St. Louis, it's 3-0-0 draws that they have in there, but it's against Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Louisville, so not terrible teams that they're doing against. But Hartford is getting the results against clearly better teams because essentially that's anyone else in the East. The The two hottest teams in the East right now are Tampa Bay, who are 4-0-1 in their last 5, and Ottawa Fury, who are 3-0-2 in their last 5. Congrats to those two teams. They're playing very well. Ottawa all the way up to 4th. Keep an eye on them. They're playing well. Out west, New Mexico on top of the pack, 24 points. Then Timbers 2 and 22. 2-2-2. Phoenix Rising, 20 points. Reno, 20. Fresno, 20. El Paso, 20. OKC, 19. Austin Bold, 18. Orange County and LA Galaxy 2 on 18. We talked about this last week, but from 10 to 3, they are separated by 2 points. That's nuts.
Crazy.
Totally nuts. Below the line, Sac Republic, 17. Tulsa, 17. Rio Grande Valley, 16. Las Vegas Lights, 15. Real Monarchs, 12. San Antonio, 12. Colorado, 11. And Tacoma Defiance, 9. Just barely above Hartford Athletic. So, yeah, from 17th to 1, it's 13 points. From 10 to 1, it is just 6 points. 2 matches essentially separate the team in 10th place from being in first place. The West is certainly wild this year. Joe, do you have to?
It's crazy.
Joe, do you have to take off and go play soccer?
I might. Yeah, I actually do.
Okay, I'm going to let you get your plug in first. Where can we follow you?
At JSteen15.
And I'm at Bill TNJ.
And you can follow me at _Joe Goldstein if you'd like to follow the show, and we hope you do. We are at Raising Bull Cast. That's one bull, Raising Bull Cast. Of course, that's all on Twitter. Joe, if you do have to leave, you can just head out. It's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye, Joe. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope that we got at least one person saying goodbye in their car in the morning tomorrow. You can find us on Facebook.com/RaisingBulls. You can go to RaisingBulls.com, where we keep all of our episodes. You can even send us questions there to questions@RaisingBulls.com. That's questions@RaisingBulls.com. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Find us, rate us, review us. It means everything. Every bit helps. And of course, if we're not on your podcast app of choice, let us know, and we'll make sure we get there. We're part of the Beautiful Game Network at bgn.fm, covering MLS, USL, Premier League, and NWSL. They've got a ton of great podcasts and written work. Podcasts like Down in the Valley, Old Glory Red Report, St. Louis Soccer Report, Texas Soccer Radio, The Unused Substitute, Tornado Alley, The USL Show, Backyard Footy, The Last Line, and Bethlehem Blast Furnace. Before I move on from them, I want to call out a podcast that I listened to this week. It is a special report. I think it's just for the month. That's being run by our good friend Evan Villela, who has been covering the Bethlehem Steel for a long time, and he does a lot of awesome stuff with the USL show and a lot of other things. But I gotta find the link for it. Where are we? Oh, I can't find it. I'm the worst at this. Here, I'm going to pretend like I'm not looking for it, and then I'll very quickly look for it. Do you think that'll work, Bill?
I think so.
It's part of the USL show, so I'm going to go in there. I forget what the specific episode is called. Out in the Crowd. Okay, so he's doing a number of these. I would highly recommend to listen to it. In this particular show, Austin Deleuze, former Red Bull and current North Carolina FC captain, and Evan Villela sit down and open up on Playing for Pride, which of course is the organization that Austin Deleuze runs and he does fundraisers with throughout the month of June. And it's a Pride Month series with Austin hosting all these shows, getting to know all about in this one, Evan, how he came out and found acceptance through his coming out process and through soccer. It is absolutely phenomenal. This is the first part of a 4-part series. I would highly recommend checking out. Again, Out in the Crowd. It's part of the USL show. I think it's part of their feed, so you should be able to grab it. But if not, head to bgn.fm/out in the crowd. Those are all separated with hyphens. It's really, really, really nice to listen to. I would, again, highly recommend it. Get out there, listen to it. Out in the crowd. Of course, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Golden Goal Press, the best choice for you to get custom shirts, hats, mugs, and other items for yourself or organization. Check out their amazing products at a fraction of the price of other places at goldengoalpress.com. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Roughneck Scarves, the official scarf supplier of MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com. For myself, for Bill Toomey, for Joe Steen, for Preston Kilwien, thank you very much, and have a great night.